I have a tree, a very large tree at the very edge of the boundary of my property. It's on the council land. I have emailed the council severally over the years to try and get some of the overhanging leaves that are growing over the driveway to try and cut some of that down. Have gotten no success. What do you suggest I do going forward? Because this has been going on for over 3 years now.
OK, Chelsea, the position's pretty straightforward. You are legally entitled to cut down any foliage that's encroaching on your property. Is it actually coming over your fence?
It is, yeah.
You're legally entitled to cut down those branches and throw them over your fence so they're back on public land. Funnily enough, the law says you can't keep those branches because that's technically theft, but you're entitled to cut them down and throw them back over your fence to the other side. Now, in terms of getting the council to pay for doing that, that's going to be more of a problem, because if they're not going to come and do it themselves, you may have a claim against them for what's called trespass because of the failure to trim back their trees, but it's difficult to bring that sort of claim for reasons I won't go into. You won't get any legal fees back. You'll have to do it yourself. Frankly, I would just either cut it yourself or pay for someone to cut it yourself and accept it's just a pain in the backside and you might have to do it every few years, Chelsea. But you can't get into any legal trouble for cutting those branches back unless, here's the unless it's the subject of a tree preservation order. Have they suggested the tree is subject to a preservation order?
They have never responded. I must have sent about 10 requests and they've all been ignored.
Okay.
The queries, they're online, they're open online, and after a couple of weeks they should get shut down as, resolved, which it hasn't been. So.
Have you reported them to the Ombudsman for not replying to you? That's worth thinking about. Report them to the Ombudsman, for the local government Ombudsman, for not replying to you. And also, have you written to your councillor?
Not yet.
That's also another step that's open to you, because the councillor might be unimpressed or will be unimpressed with the council officials' failure to reply. It's one thing to brush you off and say we're not doing it. It's quite another thing to ignore, I think you said 10 emails and letters.
Yeah, probably more than that, because it's been going on for quite a few years.
The councillor won't like the failure to respond by the department. So get a councillor on side and they'll kick some backside and hopefully get it done for you, Chelsea. But if not, ultimately you can throw it over the fence. In reality, it's going to be at your own cost though, but you can't get into legal trouble for it.